very good fighter, a complete fighter, a fighter who I think presents next to the most, he probably the second most difficult guy to fight in the weight class because he's rangy. He can do so many things. He can fight inside, he can fight outside. He's a great body puncher.
And he's able to pull this off and beat Boots on points or somehow hurt Boots and stop Boots and put on a great performance. Puerto Rico has their next great star.
Roy Jones Jr. has weighed in on Jaron Ennis's decision to face Xander Zayas, and his perspective casts this bout in a considerably more perilous light. According to Jones, Ennis might be walking into a significant trap by accepting this particular contest. The veteran boxer's cautionary words suggest that the risks involved are far greater than they might initially appear, elevating the sense of danger surrounding this scheduled showdown.
They'll hit you repeatedly with the same shot or you won't be around long. So Boots gonna get on his game. I'm sure he's gonna tighten up and get on his A game because he know he has an A up.
Roy Jones Jr. is raising a crucial concern about the upcoming clash, and it centers on the very thing that makes Jaron Ennis the favorite. Sure, on paper, Ennis appears to hold the upper hand with superior speed, greater power, and a more seasoned track record. Yet, that very advantage is precisely what makes this contest so treacherous. Xander Zayas steps into the ring as the younger, hungry, and highly disciplined opponent, carrying absolutely no burden of expectation since most are already writing him off. Jones's core warning is that the truly perilous matchups aren't the ones where you're predicted to lose. They're the ones where victory seems all but guaranteed. Should Ennis allow even a single minor oversight to slip through, Zayas has every tool needed to transform this bout into a massive headache.
The guy, and I think he's very mature for his age. Boots, on the other hand, is looking for that coming out party type fight. So he got to fight somebody at this point. And because he couldn't get A, he went to B. And I like that about Boots because Boots saying, I want all the smoke. If this one won't take me, I'll go find the next one. And so since he couldn't make the fight with Ortiz, he made the fight with Xander. This is what you want to see. This is a barn burner, I think.
Andre Ward's perspective aligns seamlessly with a cautionary insight from Robert Garcia. Garcia's argument is that as the bout extends into the later rounds, the level of risk for Jaron Ennis could escalate significantly. The reasoning behind this is straightforward. Xander Zayas has the potential to become more comfortable and build momentum as the fight progresses, which would only make things trickier for Ennis as the clock keeps ticking.
Personally, I like his movement. I like how he's carried himself, and I like him. I've seen his growth, calling his fights on ESPN. He's got a lot to like. He's got the range. He's got the height. He's tough. He's got a whole country behind him, and he fully embraces trying to be the next great Puerto Rican champion. And he's going to cause some problems for Boots Ennis throughout this fight. But my initial question.
Andre Ward, however, approaches this matchup through the lens of a true champion's mentality. His perspective is rooted in the understanding that raw ability might carry you through the opening rounds. But when the action becomes messy and unpredictable, it's composure and fundamentals that ultimately decide the outcome. Jaron Ennis certainly possesses the firepower to seize control early on, yet Xander Zayas brings a composed, measured approach that could force his opponent to pause, reassess, and exert more effort than anticipated. That's precisely why Ward's analysis adds a crucial dimension to this conversation. The stakes here go beyond simply who hits harder at 154 pounds. The real question is which fighter can maintain their sharpness once the straightforward moments are behind them.
His way so much that I don't always see Boots, even though he does have skill defensively, he doesn't always use it. I see Boots sometimes get hit with clean flush shots, and I'll see him get hit in a fight with a repeated shot. And my boxing brain says, you took that shot against this guy. What if you get hit with that same shot against that?
Roy Jones Jr. also contributed another significant observation when discussing Xander Zayas, as he doesn't view the young fighter as just another prospect stepping into the ring prematurely. Jones recognizes that Zayas possesses legitimate skills, genuine self-belief, and the physical frame that could become a deciding factor if the contest extends into the championship rounds. While Jaron Ennis may carry the bigger name and the majority of public support may still swing in his direction, Jones's perspective forces you to re-evaluate Zayas in a new light. He envisions a future champion capable of creating serious problems by maintaining his composure, weathering the early offensive bursts, and compelling Ennis to engage in a more deliberate and grueling battle.
Experience, you can go 60-40, 60 with Boots, 40 with Xander, but it kind of is a 50-50 fight. Yes.
As a young guy like Xander, naturally it sounds like Xander may be an underdog in this matchup. What do you think that Xander presents to Boots that one, he hasn't seen before, and that two, he'll have to adjust to be successful?
Height, discipline, and Xander's actually a good puncher, and he also knows how to work to the body. So Xander is a complete fighter. I don't know how many complete fighters Boots really has faced, but unlike the guy he fought from overseas who was a decent fighter but he wasn't complete, Xander's...
Richard Torres has now stepped in with a warning that fans may be sleeping on Xander Zayas heading into his clash with Jaron Ennis. And that very observation makes this bout feel far more unpredictable than the general public realizes. Most of the buzz naturally surrounds Ennis, given his blistering hand speed, knockout power, and standing as one of the sport's most gifted boxers. However, Torres is quick to point out that Zayas isn't merely traveling to survive or collect a paycheck. He's a sharp, confident, and hungry young fighter who sees this as a golden opportunity to transform his entire trajectory in a single evening. And that's precisely why this contest can't be brushed aside as a routine victory. Fighters who fly under the radar often carry the heaviest motivation, and that alone makes them exceptionally dangerous.
He's gonna win. I think people are underestimating Xander so much. It's insane to me. Like, people are like, oh, like Xander's not ready for Boots. This isn't, oh, Boots is gonna wash him out. Boots is gonna do this. Boots is gonna do that. Xander's a world champ, a multiple belt world champ, and he's showcased who he is time and time again. I think people are just like washing him out or like overlooking him because he's so young, but I'm giving it to Xander. I think Xander's his boxing ability, his ring IQ, his presence, his just stature. I think it's gonna be tough for anybody to beat him. And so I'm excited for this fight, and I think it's gonna be a great fight. I think it's gonna be a competitive fight. But my money's on
Aaron Ford's breakdown of the upcoming clash between Xander Zayas and Jaron Ennis introduces yet another thoughtful dimension to the conversation, as he chooses to dig deeper than the surface-level excitement surrounding the bout. There's no denying that Ennis commands attention with his eye-catching arsenal, lightning-quick punches, and an electrifying approach that leads many to assume he'll seize command from the opening bell.
He says that Xander's going to give Boots trouble because of the Karen fight, right? It seems like whenever Boots is talked about going up against a boxer, everybody references Karen Chikaz and Karen Chikaz, right?
Right.
Why are we going to see a different Boots in this fight than in the Karen fight?
See, people don't realize, years ago, 10 years ago, we turned Boots pro up in Utah, 18 years old, 147-pounder. Now the man was 28 years old, was still fighting at 147. That's hard as hell. A 10-year span. Now he's in the division he belongs in. Guess what? He ain't hurting himself making that weight. Hey, look, this is a junior middleweight man. I'm telling you, that punch like a heavyweight. They ain't gonna believe it right now until they see it. But come June 27th at the Barclays Center up in New York, it's gonna be unveiled, man. Gonna see something great. It counts on how Boots feel. If Boots wanna take a little walk around the park, they'll get him a 6. If we wanna be nice up in New York, we get him 8.
Should Jaron Ennis come out firing on all cylinders and land with precision, he has the opportunity to deliver a powerful message to the division. However, if Xander Zayas maintains his composure, dictates the rhythm, and forces Ennis to labor through every single round, this contest has the potential to turn into a far tougher grind than anyone is anticipating.
What's the best version of Boots look like overall, in your opinion?
The intelligence, the crazy counterpunching. Yo, his imagination is through the roof. Yo, I mean, people don't realize how much imagination, it means in boxing. Yo, man, this guy, man, he do nobody else can do. Except Roy Jones. Nobody's been able to do this Boots do since Roy Jones. And his imagination crazy, man. His angles, his speed. And like I said, his punching power, man, they haven't seen his punching power really get unleashed.
Andre Rozier ultimately sided with Jaron Ennis in his assessment. While he fully acknowledges that Xander Zayas is youthful, skilled, and carries himself with genuine belief, Rozier views Ennis as the more polished and threatening competitor overall. The combination of blistering hand speed, the ability to shift stances seamlessly, devastating power, and the capacity to launch attacks from a variety of angles makes Ennis an incredibly difficult fighter to game plan against.
This is a really, really good fight. It's an old school fight, champion against champion, and it's going to be a tough affair. Honestly, you know, my heart is always with Boots, and that's a fight that's been made, so I'm going to have to side with him. And I think it might just be a little premature for Zayas, but he is a unified world champion, so he has to bring it to the table.
What would be his keys to victory?
Don't get hit.
Who would you say has the edge, just pure boxing wise?
Listen, I've been in camp with Boots. I've seen him since he was young, man. He's just progressed amazingly. He has fast hands. He has wonderful angles. He's ambidextrous.
Mickey Bay brings a wealth of high-level boxing experience to the table, so his analysis is rooted in a deep understanding of what truly elevates a fighter from good to exceptional. He recognizes that Xander Zayas is no pushover. The young fighter is strong, disciplined, and carries the self-belief required to embrace the magnitude of this opportunity. Yet, Bay also clearly understands why the majority continues to lean toward Jaron Ennis. Ennis possesses that rare blend of blistering speed, fight-changing power, impeccable timing, and off-the-cuff creativity that can flip a contest in the blink of an eye. At 154 pounds, the central question revolves around whether Zayas can maintain his composure once Ennis begins shifting stances, altering attack patterns, and landing punches from unexpected angles. That's precisely why Bay's perspective carries weight. He views this as a genuine challenge for Ennis, but ultimately still sees him as the man armed with the more potent arsenal.
Xander could fight, but I just think he ain't been through the fire like Boots gonna put him through. Like Boots ain't one of them guys that's in there to cruise. He gonna try to get him out of there. So I think he gonna be a little too much for Xander down the stretch.
Yeah,
I think.
You think he's gonna stop?
It's possible, but I think he's gonna dominate him. Cause he might have a good chin, be durable. I ain't never see if he could how he take it to the body, but yeah, I just think Boots gonna. I think he'd dominate him. But a good fight though. Xander could fight, good fighter, but right now I don't think that he's ready.
Robert Garcia's cautionary take on the Jaron Ennis versus Xander Zayas showdown adds a layer of intrigue that many initially overlooked. The general public seems to anticipate Ennis walking in, unleashing his trademark speed, showcasing his newfound pop at 154 pounds, and seizing command without much resistance. Garcia, however, is examining the alternative scenario. Should Ennis fail to hurt Zayas early or remove him from the equation swiftly, the complexion of the bout could begin to shift dramatically. Zayas is youthful, physically strong, oozing confidence, and carries a frame that suits the weight class well, meaning each round he survives will only fuel his self-assurance further. That's precisely why this contest transcends the simple narrative of Ennis being the more gifted fighter. It ultimately boils down to whether he can break Zayas's resolve before the young challenger settles into his rhythm.
Would have to look sensational and put a beating on him the first half of the fight, but I think if it goes late into I think Boots is in trouble because Xander has tremendous heart, big boy. A warrior. He has the heart that won't stop him. He won't back up. I think he has a chance. Honestly.
Shane Mosley is actually giving Xander Zayas a slight edge heading into this matchup with Jaron Ennis. Rather than fixating on Ennis's well-documented speed and explosive capabilities, Mosley appears to be focusing on what Zayas can effectively neutralize. Zayas brings a composed, fundamentally sound approach to the ring, coupled with excellent balance. and he rarely fights with any sense of urgency or panic. That kind of demeanor becomes incredibly valuable against a dangerous operator like Ennis, because any sign of rushing, overcommitting, or reaching will be swiftly punished. For Zayas, the game plan boils down to making the contest strategically dull, slowing the tempo, keeping his guard airtight, landing calculated shots, and preventing Ennis from ever finding a comfortable rhythm. Mosley is fully aware of the threat Ennis represents, yet he also recognizes that disciplined boxing, patience, and unwavering self-belief can frustrate even the most talented opponents. His assessment provides Zayas with a legitimate blueprint for success, not by attempting to outshine Ennis in flashy exchanges, but by forcing him to earn every single opening the hard way.
They're going for Xander Zayas, that's the next, and he has a good chance to win because it's bigger and he has a lot of speed and foot movement and stuff like that. But for me, I just think Boots has too many tools, man. And he's a little bit older and wiser, but he has too many tools. But you never know. I mean, Xander actually fights, so he must see something. Because this fight, if he beats Boots, it makes him one of the legendary fighters in Puerto Rico. You know what I'm saying? Now, he's a champion thing, but this fight will make him like, okay, he was a beast.
Might put him in the pound for pound.
Yeah, put him in the pound for pound list and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, he believes he can win, so we'll see.
Tim Bradley, for his part, is leaning toward Jaron Ennis in this matchup, though he's leaving the door slightly ajar for Xander Zayas as well. Bradley views Ennis as the more naturally talented athlete, possessing greater punching power, more explosive athleticism, and a wider array of tools to turn the tide in an instant. Moving up to 154 pounds, Ennis steps in with a point to prove, and Bradley seems convinced that if the sharpest iteration of him shows up on fight night, Zayas will find himself in deep water. What makes Bradley's analysis particularly compelling, however, is his willingness to see what Zayas brings when the heat truly turns up. The young fighter is confident, composed beyond his years, and has already demonstrated a willingness to embrace significant challenges head-on. Bradley recognizes that Ennis holds the advantage in raw talent, yet he also appreciates that Zayas carries pride, discipline, and the mentality of someone who has no intention of backing down. So while Bradley may ultimately side with Ennis as the favorite, he acknowledges that Zayas has every opportunity to turn this into a grueling battle and prove that he belongs at this elite level.
Fight against Xander, man. Yeah, the young gun. So, I mean, the young gun is that's what I'm saying. Man, it's a tough fight, man. I got Boots. I just think that he's ultra talented. However, I mean, Xander could surprise him, man. Look, I expect the best Boots version of himself. I expect the best Xander. Boots got more pop on his shots. Boots I think is more talented out of the two. Boots do have some Boots does have some hold, but so does Xander, man. I mean, look, I think it's gonna boil down to who wants it most. To be honest with you, who wants it most? It's gonna be a dogfight, man. Xander don't mind. He don't mind going toe to toe if he needs to. I know he gonna probably try to box, but Boots is coming to get his bro. He's coming to prove a point. And we should get a hell of a fight from
Greg Hackett approaches this matchup from a thoroughly practical boxing perspective, steering clear of the hype surrounding bigger names or public opinion. Instead, he zeroes in on preparation, stylistic matchups, and what each man has at stake once the opening bell sounds. Regarding Ennis, Hackett clearly acknowledges the abundance of talent on display, the blistering hand speed, the unorthodox movements, the sharp counterpunching, and the in-fight adaptability all combine to make him an exceedingly difficult puzzle to solve. That's precisely why securing high-level sparring against someone like Demetrius Andrade makes perfect sense. It provides Ennis with quality rounds and diverse looks leading up to fight night. However, Hackett also makes Zayas' side of the equation compelling by framing this as the defining moment for the young fighter. Zayas has looked impressive against the opposition he was expected to handle, but Ennis represents an entirely different caliber of challenge. This is no longer about simply looking crisp. It's about confronting genuine danger, real speed, and authentic pressure. Hackett's analysis injects additional tension into the proceedings because while he views Ennis as the more established commodity, He also recognizes that Zayas now holds the opportunity to prove he truly belongs among the sport's elite.
Big kid, great confidence right now. He unified. And that fight with Abbas, Raul showed us he definitely a dog. You know what I mean? He had to bite down in that fight. He took some shots too. You know what I'm saying? He got worked out a little bit too. And fights like that you learn from. Not saying Abbas is a comparison of course he's not. But that did show him something about himself. You know what I mean? He could take a shot and he could fight through tough times. You know what I'm saying? Everybody can't do that. Boots just need a body. He needs somebody like Xander. You know what I mean? Xander is, when it comes to experience, I'm gonna say they somewhat similar, but then again, no, because Boots do got better names than Xander. I think so. You know what I mean? Xander's just a champion at 54. But Boots is, to me, better skill, sharper, and I think he punched a little.
Dennis Thompson Jr. appears to be evaluating this contest through the lens of what Jaron Ennis can achieve once he establishes his flow inside the ring. While he certainly holds respect for Xander Zayas as a promising young talent, his confidence leans more heavily toward Ennis due to the multiple dimensions within his skill set. Ennis is far from a one-dimensional operator who relies on a single path to victory. He can effectively box from the outside, seamlessly switch stances, time sharp counters, apply forward pressure, and flip a quiet exchange into a perilous moment with a single rapid-fire combination. For Thompson, that level of versatility is precisely what makes Ennis such a difficult puzzle to solve. Zayas is undoubtedly sharp and well-disciplined, but discipline only holds value if you can maintain control over your opponent. Against someone like Ennis, that becomes an exceptionally tall order because he can alter the dynamic before you've even settled into your game plan. Should Zayas allow Ennis to settle into the same rhythm for too long, Ennis will begin deciphering his patterns and making rapid adjustments. So while Thompson may view Zayas as a legitimate challenge, he ultimately seems to trust Ennis's combination of talent, speed, power, and creativity to create separation as the bout unfolds.
Because I already know nobody can beat my homie at all. That's what I got in my head, and I already know he got the talents and everything to walk through everybody.
How do you see this going?
How do I see this going?
Decision, stoppage, what?
I'm gonna say stoppage. I don't think it's going. I think it was too much. I don't think it's going to decision.
What do you see that Xander does well that could possibly make this a difficult fight?
That could possibly make it a difficult fight. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a great fighter, and he definitely got the skills. I feel like his mindset will help it out. His mindset will help him out, but I feel like he ain't really
so unprofessional. You're supposed to be a promoter.
Exactly.
When Jaron Ennis began directing taunts toward Xander Zayas, it revealed a fresh dimension to this showdown. Typically composed and measured in his demeanor, Ennis appeared to take on the role of a fighter, intent on making Zayas feel the weight of the occasion long before they step through the ropes. This isn't empty chatter for the sake of attention. Ennis is making a deliberate statement that he views himself as the greater threat, the more polished operator, and the one ready to stamp his authority at 154 pounds. For Zayas, this is where the psychological warfare truly commences. Ennis is well aware that Zayas is young, ambitious, and full of self-belief, so the mind games could very well be a tactic to gauge how the younger fighter responds under scrutiny. Does he maintain his poise, or does he allow emotion to creep into his approach? That distinction carries weight because Ennis has the instinct to capitalize on even the smallest misstep. Should Zayas become overly eager to make a point, he risks walking directly into the very traps Ennis is hoping to set. Yet, this only heightens the intrigue surrounding the bout. Ennis's verbal jabs inject additional fire into a matchup that already carried genuine significance. He aims to demonstrate that his speed, power, and overall game are on an entirely different plane, while Zayas is determined to show that he's no mere prospect being thrown to the wolves. The exchange of words only amplifies the tension, and Ennis is essentially sending a clear message that hype, accolades, and confidence won't shield Zayas once the bell sounds. Now the burden falls on Zayas to respond, not through rhetoric, but by standing his ground and proving he can withstand everything Ennis brings his way.
Gonna make the most money fighting me. I'm really the cash cow at 154 for real. So these guys can fight this guy, fight that, fight that guy. But when they fight me, I'm the cash cow. They make the most money fighting me, and that's what anybody at the division. So they gotta see me. I got the hottest, I got the biggest name, I got the hottest name. I'm the best fighter at 154. They gotta see me.
Dude, I'm lit.
Please be sure to explore the additional videos we have available for you right on your screen.